Didn't know you could record to the cloud. I don't feel like introducing myself, just my name's Tori. If you see me at Summit, come say hi. I just have some things to share with you. And I get really sweaty, like Jamie gets really sweaty, and I talk really fast, like Courtney talks really fast. So just like get really ready to just be sweaty and overwhelmed. It's gonna be fine. So get out a pen and paper. I made a PowerPoint because my brain is banana sandwich. So hold on. How to share the screen. Okay. Why are you here? My son's in a mood today, so if you hear him screaming in the background, just ignore it. I also can't see the chat because that'll just distract me. So if you don't know, I am a one-star diamond coach. I hit diamond in a week from when I started, and then I hit one star like within that next month. And then I've hit and held diamond. Well, I've held diamond really since then. And then at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I was just kind of in a womp womp stage, kind of just that like comparison game. You know, this is year 3. Why are things not happening for me and my team? And it was just kind of this like gut check moment of like, you need to get your shit together. I do say swears, so like, sorry if that offends you. But it was more so of like a self-reflection and knowing that like, I did it in a week the first time. There's no reason that I should just be like, me, this time and moving forward. So I knew that I wanted to be at the retreat that Court and Allison, Alex, whoever, Sammy, you're the name, are hosting later in Chicago this year. And I knew I wasn't going to miss that. Last year, I didn't push very hard to get to a retreat because I was hella pregnant. And so I just kind of was in this lull of why, like, what's going on. So I knew I wanted to get there. So I made that my goal. And then I'm just going to share with you guys how I made that happen. So a little bit about me. Obviously, I'm a new mom. I have a 7-month-old. I'm a police wife. I work my business full time. I'm an infusion nurse, a travel nurse, an ER nurse. Yes, I do all of those together right now, plus coaching. I have ADHD and I also have 5 autoimmune disorders. I share those last 2 things with you because not a lot of people know that about me. So it's just another one of those things where like life happens to every single one of us. There's shit we all deal with individually that not everyone shares on their platform. But just know that like if you have an ailment or something that is hard for you every single day, there are other coaches in this downline that also deal with those types of things, and you're not alone. But also, it is not an excuse or something that should ever hold you back from achieving your next goal. So don't use it as a crutch. So number 1, you're gonna want to put your blinders on. So this was huge for me. I was looking at my success partner. I was looking at the other girls in the business who are at the same time frame as me, and comparing where just our businesses were and how they were ahead of me in my eyes. But in reality, like our lives were at completely different stages and phases. And like, it wouldn't make sense for me to be where they're at because of my current life and the season that I was in. And so it's super easy to get caught up in that comparison game, that trap of imposter syndrome. And so it's extremely important to just put your head down, focus on yourself and grind. I know like hustle season and grind mode are like frowned upon, but honestly, like if you want big things to happen, you have to put the work in. And so looking at everybody else isn't going to help you hit that. So if you're somebody that follows like a lot of top coaches, stop following them. The only people you should really be following is your direct upline and your PS coaches to make sure that they're showing up. So use social media as a tool and a platform to make you an income, not as something that you're going to get sucked into and be like, what's going on? Why am I not where they're at? So blinders on. Number 2 is setting a goal date. This is big for me. So this was a huge part of my reflection. And I was just kind of like willy-nilly working this business, and like I make a good income and I was doing the things that I wanted with the income I've been making from coaching, but I wasn't doing anything big. So I knew that I had to hit my 1-star quals to go to this retreat. And so I told myself like, listen, sis, you need to hit this 2 weeks earlier so that if something falls through, you still have that 6-week time frame to like get it together. So planning forward and setting a goal date, but then also taking that goal date and moving it up so that if you quote unquote fail, you're not really failing. Number 3 is, what are you working for? And this is not the typical, like, I just want to help people feel better. I want to get people to lose X amount of pounds. Like, I want someone to feel good in the clothes. And like, no shit, we all do. That's why we're all here. We wouldn't be in the health industry if we didn't want that for our clients or our coaches. And so this is something I want you to be selfish about. Why are you specifically here? What is something that keeps you coming back? And I don't mean like because it holds you accountable for your own health and fitness. It holds you accountable to stay on track and not fall off the wagon, which I really hate those two terms, but whatever. For me, it's income. And I don't think that it's bad to say that boldly. This is a business for me, and I want to make revenue that's going to support my family. This is my cute baby, my husband, but I cut his head off. So anyways, I knew that I want income. I wanted to go on that retreat. I would love to get Botox in my forehead to get rid of my what the fuck lines. I absolutely love being recognized, and I'm not ashamed of that. And it wasn't happening. So like, these are things that I was missing from the business that I had in that first year and in that second year, that I was like, damn, now what? And so I kind of thought, like, this is what I want. And it's not a bad thing to want more than just to like help people. Okay, so number 4, you're gonna want to take out the trash. It is like no shame that we work for an MLM. Network marketing is a big, big thing right now. And there are a lot of haters out there who just don't understand because they're not willing to give this a try or let it change their life. So you need to take out the trash. Anybody who tells you that this is dumb or silly or doubts you, they're the trash. So like, trash can, get rid of them. And this is hard because a lot of the times it is your close friends and it is your close family, but it's because they see success for how they want you to succeed. So like my parents, not my dad, because he just, whatever I do, he's like, oh, you're the greatest. But my mom was like, dude, you went to nursing school for 4 years. Like, you worked your ass off, you paid for it yourself. And now you're just going to like womp that. Like, now what? And like in her eyes, that's not cool. But for me, like, this gives me drive and passion. It makes me sweaty and excited. So like, I had to kindly tell her, like, hey, that's cool if you feel that way, but could you please keep your opinions to yourself, because it's not helping me thrive in my business. And we did have that conversation, and it's a hard one to have, but like, you have to treat this like your child. And if somebody told me that about Hudson, I'd punch him in the face. So take out the trash. Any friends in your life that talk poorly about this or don't support you, then maybe they're not really your friend. Number 5 is tracking. So this is big. This is something that I wasn't doing, and it truly showed. I would like to note that I've never missed a month of Success Club. So like, even if you are just kind of winging it, like, that's not an excuse either to not be locking it in every month. That's pretty much like the bare minimum of what you have to do here. So even if you are in a state where you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing, like, that is the minimum. But making sure that you are tracking those conversations, you are tracking those connections, you are intentionally making new friendships through social media, not that bullshit hey girl stuff, because when you're on the receiving end of it, do you like it? Probably not. So like, don't be sending that to other people, especially because social media is heavily weighed down with people working MLMs. So like, a lot of people are getting those messages. So just keep in mind that like, you need to be making an intentional conversation with somebody, and it's super embarrassing if you're not tracking that and then you go to message them and you're like, shit, 3 months have gone by and I never responded. So like, don't be that person. There are a zillion trackers available for you. If you don't like the bat that Beachbody provides, literally Google tracker, like Beachbody tracker on Google, and you'll get tons and tons of options. The thing I would say is be consistent with it, and once you pick one, stick with it. If it's not working for you, obviously switch it up, but like, being consistent is key. And then another thing is send it to your coach and or your success partner for extra accountability. I know that I'm never going to send Courtney an empty tracker because, well, that would just be embarrassing. So like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want my PS coaches to do that. So like, follow suit and hold yourself accountable. Number 6. So this was the part that I wasn't doing like proactively. I knew my diamond was fine. And it, like I said, I wasn't like pushing for a bigger goal or rank advancement, because truthfully, I was just like not really caring. But looking at what I had and seeing the value in the people that were already there in my downline, and then filling in the missing pieces to that puzzle. So I want you to like draw out your diamond roadmap if that's your goal, or your star diamond, or whatever you're pushing towards, and fill those holes with people. Like actually write their names in of people that you could invite to coaching, or just straight up say like, hey dude, I'm trying to hit this big goal in my business. Would you please help me? Yes or no? It doesn't have to be this like huge drawn out process and be nervous. Like that's what gets you choked up, is when you overthink this business. So I looked and I had a lot of holes I needed to fill to get to help Tyler get back to diamond. And I knew that I did it myself quickly. So I knew I could do it under him quickly. And once you have that like movement mindset, it's not something that's going to be difficult for you. You just have to be willing to do it. So like I told my success trio, I was like, listen, I'm locking this in by this Thursday. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to have 2 emeralds under Tyler. I need 3 other active people under him. I need 2 emeralds on my opposite leg of him to hold my diamond strong. Like I'm going to make it happen, but this is what I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm going to tell you guys as well. So making it publicly known what you're doing, and then filling it in and updating your puzzle as you hit those markers so that you're not slacking on the tracking. Number 7, treat it like a real business. So this, again, I have always kind of just thought of coaching as like a side job. I mean, I'm a travel nurse. I make good income doing that. So like I didn't need a hella income from coaching. However, it is really nice when you get those fat paychecks and you're like, cool, I can pay for things. And so treating it as if it is a real business, because it is. You paid to start this job, and it would just be silly to let all of that go to waste. You have a lot of people who are invested in your business, meaning your clientele. I have a team of like 200 plus women, and it's really shitty to not be all in for them and treating it as a gym. If I went and taught or went to an actual gym and was the business owner of the gym and like half-assed it there, I wouldn't have people filling in the classes or filling up the weight room. Like that just wouldn't happen. So like actually thinking of coaching, excuse me, as a real job. So being the employee that you would hire. Like me 7 months ago is not someone that I want working for me. I'd probably fire her. She was just kind of lazy and wasn't in the mood to do anything. So like, you gone. But being on time. So this means posting every single day on time. And what I mean by that is when your insights are the highest. So like for me, that's 6 p.m. my time. So I go in at 5:30 because Brock Johnson told me to. And I go in and I connect an invite for 30 minutes. So like that's part of my business hours. And then I put up a post at like 5:55 or 6 o'clock p.m. and let that go up. And then while that's being shared, and typically it's a reel, I am still connecting, inviting, and reaching out to people and being social on Instagram so that my shit starts going, which I have seen a lot more success in that. I am not somebody that has a shit ton of followers, and I also don't have a ton of things that like go viral. But in the last like month of doing this, I have had a lot more conversations and connections because of the time I'm putting in. So be on time. And then showing up for work. So this means being in your stories all day long. And like, yeah, that's annoying. And yeah, you don't want to be on your phone. Sorry, a whole gang of bikes is riding by my house. Anyway, being in your stories all day long. They don't have to be long, 15 seconds, or snap a boomerang or put up a picture and put a couple of words on it. Like just show that you are going to be consistent, because the person that you're trying to attract is going to reflect what you're doing. So if you're not showing up, they're not going to show up. And that's going to be really annoying when you're trying to get them results and you're like dragging them through the dirt, and like nobody wants to deal with that. So don't do that with your own self. And then looking at revenue. Okay, we all are here for the income, like I've said before. So getting people results and having retention is huge. If you aren't providing something for your team and keeping people interested and having something new for people to join, no one's going to want to play. So this was a big thing for me. I have a lot of retention, which is another reason I haven't missed Success Club. So like this part wasn't hard, but when I was looking at my puzzle piece to figure out how I was going to lock in 1 star, I knew that some people were going to be renewing their bods, and they are very loyal clientele. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to move you under so-and-so. It's still gonna be me, like, don't freak, but it's just gonna help us rank advance as a team. And they're like, okay, whatever you say, girl, blah. And I was like, cool, sweet. But it's because I have that trust with them. I have gotten them results and they're not going anywhere. So just making sure that you are doing that and providing that for your team. That part is not about you, it's completely about them. And then the last one is be teachable. So I put in policies and procedures in parentheses because if I went to work as a nurse and didn't do what they told me to do and just kind of like did my own thing, I would be fired and put in jail. So same thing for coaching. If you're not doing the BAT or you're not doing the vital behaviors, you should be put in jail because that's real life as a nurse. So like looking at it that way has helped me be extremely diligent and consistent with the vital behaviors, which like are not a hard thing to do, but it is easy to let them slip. So making sure that you stay teachable as you're growing your business is a big, big thing. None of us know everything about this, maybe Jamie and Steve, but just be somebody that you can mold and be able to be molded as you're growing. And then questions. I don't know how to get out of this. Oh boy. Stop sharing. Okay. Is anybody else sweating? Because I am. I'm going to stop the recording.